Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us for this edition of the webcast series, Women in Education and Technology, where we shine a spotlight on some extraordinary women leaders in these sectors. Education is going through a period of creative destruction. Internal and external forces are acting as catalysts for change and for the structure to really implode on itself right now. The sector is ripe for transformation and technology is helping chart the way forward. Today, we're going to discuss all of this and some more. My name is Mayank, and I lead the education vertical at HP for Middle East, Africa, and Eastern Europe. My guest for today is Raya Bidshahri, the CEO of our academy, who's a remarkable young futurist. Raya was chosen among the Global 100 Most Inspirational Women of 2019 by BBC. Her company has also been selected to represent UAE in the Entrepreneurship World Cup. So welcome, Raya. I'm also honored to have as my co-host today, Dr. Hind Jalal. Dr. Jalal is the country director for Cameroon at UN Women and has been at the forefront of social development programs across Africa for the last 20 years. She has held several leadership positions at UNFPA and the Ministry of Finance in Morocco, apart from UN Women. So I'm going to hand over the stage to Dr. Hind to start on the conversation with Raya and ask the first question. So over to you, Hind.
Thank you so much, Mayank. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Raya. We are very privileged today to have you. And as UN Women representative, you really represent a lot for us and for all young women that are hearing or watching us today, as you are a real role model. So allow me to ask you a first question, please. How did you start Academy and what was your vision around it?
First of all, thank you for having me. It's an absolute honor to be here. So my team and I started Academy in order to start paving alternative pathways in education. We felt that a lot of innovation in education was focused on EdTech, on educational technology, but there wasn't enough of reinventing of curriculum, assessments, pedagogy, and the system at large. When we first launched Academy about 3 years ago, we were very extracurricularly focused. We did a lot of workshops, boot camps, 6-month programs, teaching students all of the skills, values, and mindsets that traditional school curriculum does not cover. And now what we're really focused on is building an alternative high school program, one where instead of exams, we evaluate students through their solutions and impact on the world, where instead of subjects, everything is interdisciplinary. Instead of focusing on content memorization, we focus on the skills of the future. So it's really focused on empowering this upcoming generation, not just to be prepared for the future of work, but to also create an exciting future for our species.
Thank you, Raya. Thank you very much. As a follow-up question, 2020 was a real milestone for gender equality and women empowerment. We had the Beijing 25 the milestone. We celebrate this year the 1325 UN resolution on women, peace and security, and we launched officially the generation equality. So from your point of view, as a young activist and young leader, do you think that we are heading towards a future where things like women empowerment and gender equality will soon become topics of past, or there are still many milestones to cross?
Absolutely. I define myself as an intelligent optimist. A lot of us feel like the world is getting worse, and the media is often to blame for that. For every 19 negative news stories that we see, we only see one positive. And that's because our brains are wired to pay more attention to negative news, and the media knows this. So, if it leads, it leads, and we're constantly being given these scary narratives about the world. But really, in the last 100 years, we've seen massive strides in rights, not just for women, but all minorities in all different shapes and forms. And I actually think that one of the biggest trends this year has been a huge advantage to women, and that is the acceleration of the remote workforce. So if you look at, what often causes the gender gap, it is often inflexible working hours for working mothers. When the data from World Economic Forum and other bodies show that the gender gap really starts to come into play when you reach parenthood. And one of the best ways to tackle that is to offer remote, flexible, contingent workforce hours for women. And that trend has been on the rise for years now, and it got accelerated this year. So personally, I was very excited to see a lot of companies now offer permanent remote working hours to their teams, companies like Microsoft, because it's a huge win for women.
Thank you so much, Raya. Thank you for your optimism. I hand it over to Mayank.
Thank you, Dr. Jalal. I mean, I share your view, Raya, so much. Optimism, I think, is so necessary in today's world because one of the biggest tasks as a leader is to give hope and energy to your teams, right? And without optimism, there is no way that you can provide that. HP and our Academy are, of course, collaborating together on many such programs which can offer optimism, right, to the education community. And we're doing that through the Innovation Garage at EdTech. So how do you see the community benefiting from this partnership?
I think one of the things we need to see more of in the education space is partnership between educational companies and industry leaders like HP. When we're moving in the direction where the workforce needs more skills rather than more degrees, you need to completely reinvent how education is structured. And one of the ways you need to reinvent this is by changing how you credential and accredit these skills. So traditionally, what we've done is we've allowed universities and really a portion of educational entities globally to give accredited degrees and credible certifications to their students. But now that's changing. And one of the ways we're partnering with HP is through these co-credentialings of skills, future skills that students need that are also in line with what the industry, leading industry experts need. Another area is really, you need the full rounded solutions. You need layers of solutions in education. My team and I are absolutely incredible when it comes to curriculum development and interdisciplinary curriculum development, but we need to work with companies like HP who have cutting edge technology, like virtual reality, that we can integrate into the lessons. So giving students in the community the opportunity to not just get that educational experience, but also work with that cutting edge technology is a really powerful experience.
I couldn't agree more. I think, as we see the months folding out before us, I think we're going to see so much more of these kind of ecosystems and partnerships. And I think once big tech and academia join together, really the way of credentialing is going to change. So, I'm sure that people who are watching this right now are excited about some of the programs that you might be bringing to the fore, Raya. So how does somebody understand or find out about the schedule of workshops that are coming up in at the Innovation Garage in the next few weeks? And how can someone participate in it?
Well, we do have an exciting cohort that we just announced, the Future Proof program for students. Our first full scholarships are available for students that get accepted into this. And the goal of the program is to prepare students for a post-pandemic world. So we'll be focusing on everything like emotional intelligence, systems thinking, the remote workforce, preparing for a post-AI world. So it's a really exciting interactive program. The best way to check this out is, follow us on social media at Academy. We post all of our programming there. Our website is allacademy.org, and we usually post programming there as well. And you should be able to find the details of the Future Proof program, which are being hosted out of the HP Innovation Garage virtually for now. And hopefully we'll be able to do in-person sessions soon as well. So the best way to keep in touch with us is on social media.
This is fantastic. I mean, I'm excited about these programs, and I'm sure some of the audience are going to be as well. So thank you so much for sharing your journey and insights with us, Raya. We're really delighted to be collaborating with you on these key education programs. And I think we're going to make such a positive impact on both students and educators together. Thank you once again for being on the webcast with us today. And also thank you, Dr. Jalal, for being the most wonderful co-host.
Thank you.